Mixed numbers. How to divide mixed numbers. What are they? Numbers consisting of a whole number and a proper fraction. Why? Because they help you visualize what the number is. Interesting fact. Some sea snakes can breathe partially through their skin, allowing for longer dives underwater. Here are the examples we're going to be talking about in today's video. Let's take a closer look at example 1. Now let's read the steps. Step 1, convert each mixed number to an improper fraction. Step 2, flip the second fraction. Step 3, multiply the numerators together. Step 4, then the denominators together. And step 5, simplify. Now let's read the question. Divide the mixed numbers 2 1/3 and 1 3/5. So the first step is to convert each mixed number to an improper fraction. In order to do that, we need to multiply the denominator and the whole number and add the numerator. And in this case, it is 3 times 2 plus 1. That gives us 7. We keep the same denominator, which is 3. So our improper fraction is 7/3. We do the same process to the second mixed number, and we get 8/5. Now we begin the process of flipping the second improper fraction. So first things first is that we have to flip the division sign to a multiplication sign, and that allows us to flip the second improper fraction from 8/5 to 5/8. Now let's rewrite those two fractions so there's only one division bar with 7 times 5 on top and 3 times 8 on the bottom. And that gives us 35/24 because 7 times 5 is 35 and 3 times 8 is 24. Now we're not done yet because the two numbers in the question are mixed numbers. So we need to convert it back to a mixed number. And in order to do that, we need to use long division. So let's go ahead and write down the multiples of 24. So we can pick the closest multiple of 24 to 35 without going over. And that is 24. And now we subtract 35 and 24, which gives us 11. That is our remainder. So we're going to use the three numbers 24, 1, and 11 to write our mixed number, which is 1 and 11/24. And that is our answer, since we can't simplify. And there we go. So now let's take a look at example 2, where we have 1 3/4 divided by 3 2/3. Now, same process. We need to convert each mixed number to an improper fraction, so we need to multiply the denominator and the whole number and add the numerator. And in this case, that is 4 times 1 plus 3, which is 7. We keep the same denominator, which is 4, so our improper fraction is 7/4. We do the same process to the second mixed number, and that gives us 11/3. Now we begin the process of flipping the second improper fraction. And first things first, we need to flip the division sign to a multiplication sign, which allows us to flip 11/3 to 3/11. Now let's rewrite the two fractions so there's only one division bar. Now we have 7 times 3 on top, 4 times 11 on the bottom, and that gives us 21/44 because 7 times 3 is 21 and 4 times 11 is 44. And in this case, we are done. Why? Because we have a proper fraction, so we can't make that into a mixed number, and we can't simplify. So there we go. Our answer is 21/44. Now let's take a look at 3a, where we have 3 3/4 divided by 2 1/6. Same process. We need to convert each mixed number to an improper fraction, and we do that by multiplying the denominator and the whole number and adding the numerator. And in this case, it is 4 times 3 plus 3. That gives us 15. We keep the same denominator, which is 4. So our improper fraction is 15/4. Do the same process to the second mixed number, and we get 13/6. Now let's begin the process of flipping the second improper fraction. So we flip to the sign from division to multiplication, and now we flip 13 over 6 to 6 over 13. And now we write the two fractions so that there's only one division bar, and that is 15 times 6 on the top and 4 times 13 on the bottom. And that gives us 90 over 52, because 15 times 6 is 90 and 4 times 13 is 52. Now we need to use long division to write our mixed number. So we write down the multiples of 52 and pick the closest multiple of 52 to 90 without going over, and that is 52. Now we subtract 90 and 52, and that gives us 38. And that is our remainder, and we're going to use the three numbers 52, 1, and 38 to write our mixed number. And in this case, we're not done yet, and that is because we need to simplify 38 and 52. And the reason why we need to simplify those two numbers is because they're both multiples of 2, or they're both even. So we can divide each number by 2, and that gives us 1 and 19 over 26, because 38 divided by 2 is 19, and 52 divided by 2 is 26. So our answer is 1 and 19 over 26. Now let's take a look at example 3b, where we have 3 and 3/4 divided by 2 and 1/6. Now some of you may realize, ooh, we have the same question. But we're going to do it a different way, and at the end you get to choose which method you prefer to do. So let's go ahead and get started by converting the mixed numbers to an improper fraction. Same process, multiply the denominator and the whole number and add the numerator. And then in this case it is 4 times 3 plus 3, which is 15. Keep the same denominator, which is 4. So our improper fraction is 15 over 4. Do the same process to the second mixed number, and that gives us 13 over 6. Begin the process of flipping the second improper fraction by flipping the sign from division to multiplication, which allows us to flip 13 over 6 to 6 over 13. We're going to rewrite it so that there's only one division bar. So now we have 15 times 6 over 4 times 13. And in this case, we're going to simplify here because we want smaller numbers, and when you're multiplying, smaller numbers is usually easier. So let's go ahead and simplify 6 and 4. Why are we simplifying 6 and 4? Well, they're both multiples of 2. So we can divide 6 by 2 and 4 by 2 to simplify and get smaller numbers. As you can see, we've already divided 6 by 2, and that gives us 3. We crossed out 6 and rewrote 3. And now we're going to do the same thing to 4. We're going to divide 4 by 2 to get 2. Cross out 4 and write 2. Now we're going to rewrite our number so it's easier to see what is happening. So now we have 15 times 3 over 2 times 13. And that gives us 45 over 26. Because 15 times 3 is 45 and 2 times 13 is 26. Now we're going to use long division to write our mixed number. So now we're going to write down the multiples of 26 to pick the closest multiple of 26 to 45 without going over, and that is 26. And now we're going to subtract 45 and 26, and that gives us 19. That is our remainder. We're going to use the three numbers 26, 1, and 19 to write our mixed number, and that is 1 and 19 over 26, and that is our answer. Now let's take a look at our last example, where we have 3 and 3/4 divided by 2 and 5/8. So we need to convert each mixed number to an improper fraction, and we do that by multiplying the denominator and the whole number and adding the numerator. And in this case, it is 4 times 3 plus 3, and that gives us 15. We keep the same denominator, which is 4, so our improper fraction is 15 over 4. We do the same process to the second mixed number, and that gives us 21 over 8. Now let's begin the process of flipping the second improper fraction by flipping the division sign to a multiplication sign, so we can flip 21 over 8 to 8 over 21. Now let's rewrite the two fractions so there's only one division bar as 15 times 8 over 4 times 21. So this time we're going to go ahead and simplify here because we want smaller numbers. And now let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and simplify 15 and 21 because they're both multiples of 3. So we're going to divide 15 by 3 and that gives us 5. So we're going to cancel out the 15 and write 5. And now we're going to simplify the 21 and divide that by 3, which gives us 7. So we're going to cancel the 21 and rewrite 7. And now we're going to do the same thing with the 4 and 8 because they're both multiples of 4. So we're going to divide 8 by 4 and that gives us 2. So we're going to cancel out the 8 and write a 2. And now we're going to divide 4 by 4 and that gives us 1. We're going to cancel the 4 and rewrite it as 1. Now we're going to rewrite these numbers so it's a little bit easier to see. So now we have 5 times 2 on the top and 1 times 7 on the bottom. So let's do that. It gives us 10 over 7 because 5 times 2 is 10 and 1 times 7 is 7. Now let's use long division to figure out our mixed number. So let's write down the multiples of 7. Pick the closest multiple of 7 without going over, and that is 7. And now we can subtract 10 and 7. That gives us 3. That is our remainder. So we're going to use the three numbers 7, 1, and 3 to write our mixed number, and that is our answer, 1 and 3 over 7. Now it is your turn, so go ahead and pause the video so you can take your time to answer these questions, and I will show the answers in 3, 2, and 1. If you got them correct, well done. If you didn't, there is always tomorrow.